Welcome back to the Reds Reviews podcast, brought to you by PayperHead.com. Right now there is a promo all the way through March Madness, April 5th, that is $4 for everything that they offer. It is a premium promo. Go check them out at PayperHead.com, and let's get on with the Red Show. Hey, what's going on, guys? How are you? It's Red. Well, it is that time of the week again, and we're actually going to be continuing the focus of the previous show where we're talking about grow your business. And in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit more about the capabilities of doing stuff online. And being a book, getting your name out there is actually very difficult in this day and age, considering COVID and most of the places that you used to maybe go and sit and talk and do all the things that you might have done before are either closed or restricted to a certain extent, and social distancing is still in effect for a lot of people, and that whole bit. So, because of some of the tools that have been built, right? And I mentioned in the previous podcast that you have a website, you can actually give it out without ever having to meet these guys. So you can set up the referral thing, and right now there are some capabilities that are being developed to set up sign-up sheets and set up other ways for your players to help you acquire new players. And in the future, and I can say this because I've already been doing some research on it and looking at it, and also been told that there's going to be some new tools added to this. Also considering the reseller tool as well for you if you just wanted to market it as an agent and take on new agents as well and not worry about the player booking themselves, which is also an option. However, doing anything online and creating SEO or doing PPC, or if you're a marketing person and you understand the cost of doing these things is extremely expensive. And building websites outside of just regular hosting and doing things can be expensive as well, depending upon the quality of the website, customization, and all the other things that go into that. And so taking it into perspective, what is being offered right now is still a pretty good deal overall. However, there is still much room to grow as far as offerings from a standard white label design. And in the near future, those things such as the referral sign-up sheets or even regular post-up design sign-up sheets that are going to be offered on a PayperHead website, it's actually changing the way that the network works. And having a network is the most important thing in our business currently. Knowing people in our business is the most important thing currently. And what these companies are allowing us to do now is actually create networks. And it's something that wasn't really available before on an online forum, or even in a local forum for that matter, where players or agents could meet. And I think that's the exploration that we're going to be talking about. So as time continues and we're able to set up all the other avenues of being able to take on players and create these things, because the external hosting is already being done. There's a couple of websites that I've seen that are based on a PayperHead model with a full post-up feel, and our technology that we're capable of doing, obviously, if you have the funds, can be extended even further past that, and to consider landing pages, blog posts, yada yada yada. And so word of mouth right now is really the only avenue that we haven't really touched on. And I think that if you're somebody who is an agent that has integrity, you are paying your players, you have the website up and running, you have everything enabled, and you're still looking at ways to increase the amount of player action on your site, there are other benefits that you can offer directly to them by messaging, agent messaging internally, and or player messaging directly to the players themselves, as you have that power within the software. Doing so allows you to give $50 free play, for example, or doing any kind of promo action on something. If even contests are going to be a thing in the near future, giving you the ability to run contests, whoever has the most wins, losses, whatever. If you even want to do brackets and set up player pools, those are all going to be options as well. That being said, keeping it in-house and allowing your players to stay within the realm of your book will also be a hindrance, considering the amount of action that you may be possible. I do know that the poker that we had mentioned several times over the last months has had some difficulties in development, but will be completed and also give the option for an independent wallet, meaning that you don't have to pay out of pocket on these massive player pools. Because as anybody knows, if you play on a poker site and there's thousands and thousands of players with buy-ins, those pools can be gigantic. And in the holdings on that, in order to create an environment of this where an agent can can actually lucratively make some money and offer something to their players, keeping them on the site, which is the actual goal of all sites, is just time on site and wagers placed, right? So in the case that you actually enable this and create that environment for your players to continually use it, whether it be through the live wagering, the poker, or any of the casinos, or any of those things, it creates the environment of a site time spent much longer than regular. And so the post up or brand feel or whatever you're going for as an agent continues to expand, and it continues to become more of a business model for you. And rather than just having your 10 players, you might pick up 12, and then it's 15, and then it's 20 over time, because your name's gotten out there. Players are saying, this is actually a really good site, and they don't even have to know who you are running this operation because of the ability to run a cashier online for a minimal cost. So again, those are the topics that I wanted to really bring up, and I'm going to, as soon as these things are actually available, go into it far more. And that'll be the next topics. So let's move on to let's look at some sports here, because it is the March Madness right now. If y'all don't know, it is the March Madness, and if you are, then you're obviously involved with dealing with the upsets that have happened, which have been actually huge for me. Actually huge. Okay, the fact that Illinois fell to Loyola Chicago is insane. And not only did they fall to them, they lost by like 13. And, you look at that in perspective, but there is a Cinderella story. There is a Cinderella story that's forming right now that we haven't seen since, I think it was Northern Florida or South Florida, SFU. I can't remember which one it was, but there was a small school that did this. Okay, and what we're talking about is Oral Roberts, of all schools, right? Oral Roberts, the number 15 seed, takes out Ohio State in the first round, and Oral Roberts will be going into and playing number 7 Florida and winning. Okay, so we got a number 2 and a number 7 already taken out by a single team. Will they continue, and will they continue to be a major threat in the next round? I don't know. I honestly think that it is, and it will be something that's going to be really fun to watch. Like I said, this is going to be a highly unbalanced year, considering the fact that Louisville and Kentucky and Duke were all teams that didn't even make the cut. Like this is one of those years that you just don't see very often as far as the major programs go in the college basketball. And I'm loving it. I'm loving the action. I'm loving the fact that the upsets are happening, and it's giving me the dough, because my players are, they're sharp, but they're not like crazy sharp. They would have never predicted that Oral Roberts would have done what they did, and there was a lot of people that bet Ohio State, and I'm saying heavy bets. So big wins for me. Also, considering there is one other topic to bring up, and it is a new tool that was just released, and I've seen it on there. It wasn't something that was really hardcore marketed, I guess, to the rest of the base, but they released a limits tool that allows me to no longer have to call these people and set up limits online, or in person, right? Like, so I'd have to call somebody and be like, hey, can I have my limits on the live dealer for said player? Now it is done online, and it is something that is huge, and I'm super grateful to see that, because it has always been a hassle for me at certain times on Friday nights, Saturday nights, or whatever. I'd have to send an email and or call these people to set up something or change something for these products. And also, too, a lot of times it would take a little bit of time. I'm not going to say a lot, but it would take some time for them to actually update the limits. So either way, I'm going to leave it at that for the week, and I'm going to continue on, giving you any of the inside scoops that I find out about what better ways to make your business a stronger model. And again, the core of all of this, is all agents know, is the integrity and being unafraid to start looking at taking processing independently. Use the APS, use the agent payment solution that has been created by this company, because of the fact that it gives you full access to a processor, which, if anyone's ever done processing, it is hundreds of thousands of dollars to run a processor yourself. And also, you run the risk that they'll just go belly up and take your money at the end of the 6 months, year, whatever the plan is for payment on settle for these processors. Without doing that, without having to go through all that hassle and all that stuff, it's all provided for you in one place. You set it up, you turn it on, and you're ready to go. So, hope the odds are always in your favor, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning into the Reds podcast, brought to you by PayperHead.com. For all relative promos going on right now, please check them out at PayperHead.com. Also, opinions expressed on this show are not that of PayperHead.com. And if you do like what you hear, for all the agent news coming up, please like, subscribe, and follow. We will see you next week.